You're trying to decide what loan to use because you're buying a house. So in this video, I'm going to break down the VA loan and compare it to a conventional loan. Full disclaimer, I think the VA loan is the best loan out there, but if you don't qualify for one of those, that's cool too. We're going to cover the conventional loan. In some of my other videos, I talk about the FHA versus conventional as well. If you don't qualify for the VA, check those videos out. They're linked down below in the comments. So my name's Darren Tsai. I'm a mortgage broker here in Southern California. But if you want to chat about your specific scenario, I'm licensed in other states as well. That list is down below. You can also find my contact info down below if you want to chat. So if you haven't been on my channel is dedicated to helping people just like you build wealth through real estate. All right, so let's break it down, VA loan and conventional loan, and let's help you figure out what's best for you and your family. I'm going to start with the VA loan. So you could be eligible for a VA loan if you're a current service member, a veteran, and some surviving spouses as well. And if you are one of these people, thank you for your sacrifices and your service. Now, what I love about the VA loan is that it allows for a 0% down payment. I don't always recommend it because the monthly payment could be pretty high, but that is a great option that you can put 0% down. Many people sometimes even get cash back when buying a home using a VA loan. The other thing that I love about the VA loan is that there's no mortgage insurance. So VA loans are guaranteed by the government. So you got Uncle Sam as your co-signer on this property. But because there's no mortgage insurance, there is what's called a VA funding fee. So you might actually be exempt from that funding fee, but most people are going to have a funding fee when they use a VA loan. So those are just some quick points about the VA loan. Now I'm going to talk about the conventional loan. It's not a government-backed loan, but it's pretty much for anybody, and it is the most commonly used home loan. And so with the conventional loan, you could potentially put as little as 3% down. Many people put 5% down. And if you put less than 20% down, you are going to have private mortgage insurance. So the TLDR, quick summary here, VA loans allow for 0% down. They typically actually don't have a credit score requirement either. A lot of lenders will have a credit score requirement, but technically the VA doesn't have one. There's no mortgage insurance with VA loans. And with VA loans, depending on your eligibility, there's probably going to be a funding fee. Now with conventional loans, there typically is a minimum credit score of 620, and the better your credit score is with a conventional loan, the lower your rate or the lower your cost for that loan. And if you put less than 20% down, you're going to have mortgage insurance on the conventional loan. And so the other thing to consider with VA and conventional loans is that because the VA loan is government guaranteed, you typically have a lower interest rate, right? You'll see this chart. It shows a year's worth of VA loan and conventional loan interest rates, or like the average national average rate. For the most part, VA loan is going to be about 0.75 to 1% lower for the interest rate than a conventional loan. So another requirement for the VA loan is that home must be your primary residence. You must be buying it to live in it at first. While in conventional loans, you can use it as a primary, an investment, or a secondary home. Let's get to the fun part for you. Let's figure out which loan is better for you and your family. I'm going to take you through a 3-step framework on how to think about this. First, you got to figure out if you're eligible, right? If you're not eligible for a VA loan, then the choice is easy. You just go with conventional or FHA. As mentioned before, I have a video linked down below. It compares conventional versus FHA. The next step is to check if you are exempt from the VA funding fee. And if you're not exempt from the VA funding fee, decide if you want to pay that out of pocket or if you want to finance that cost. Most people finance that cost and roll it into their loan. Step number 2, try to figure out the cost of each one, right? Run the numbers for both loans, right? Look at APR, total fees, your monthly payment, mortgage insurance if you're going with conventional, and look at the different cash to close. So 99% of the time, I would say the VA loan is going to be the better option here. Lower interest rate, no mortgage insurance, but once again, run the numbers, figure out what works best for you and your family. And the last step, step number 3, is determine your offer strategy. Now, in a competitive market, some sellers would much prefer to just take a conventional loan from a buyer than a VA loan. And the reason why is because the VA loan requires an appraisal, and many times that appraisal is going to be more strict than a conventional loan. Now, with conventional loans, depending on how much you put down, your credit score, and your reserves, and what I mean by reserves is how many mortgage payments you can make with the current money that you have. So let's say you have $200,000 in a bank account, your mortgage payment's $2,000, you have 100 months of reserves. The stronger your financial profile is, sometimes you can get an appraisal waiver on conventional loans. So you could understand if you're a seller and you're comparing a VA loan versus a conventional loan, you might want to take the conventional loan if they don't have to get an appraisal. And so sometimes people will take a conventional loan, even though they can take a VA loan, because it will help their offer get accepted. And then what they can do later is refinance into the VA loan to lower their payments, if that makes sense. So the 3 steps, right? First, eligibility. The second, look at costs. The third is offer strategy to getting yourself into a home. So just a quick summary of the video here. Figure out which loan is best for you, VA or conventional. If you qualify for the VA, it's probably going to be that, but it also might depend on your offer strategy when you are looking to write offers on your home. Now, if you have any questions about your specific home buying scenario, my contact info is down below. You can text me, set up a call, or you can just email me at darren@realdarrensci.com and we can figure out what works best for you. As always, I hope this video brought you some value and I hope you learned something new, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video.